Welcome to the She Who Dares podcast. I'm your host, Krista Wilson. This episode that you're about to listen to today is an interview with one of my breakthrough clients, Tori. And before the episode starts, I just wanted to give you some context around really where Tori was before she started her breakthrough with me. She had a really rough few years. Her partner and her split up, marriage breakdown, and she was left with 3 children, managing life as a single mum and feeling really unsupported. Like her whole world had just been ripped out from underneath her. She was feeling very much like she wasn't good enough, that she was not doing enough. She was in parental overwhelm, filled with so much anger and rage. And she was taking that anger and rage out on her children, and she wanted to change that. There was so much unprocessed pain and hurt from the breakdown of her marriage. And she was internalizing that pain and hurt against herself. She was struggling with the way that she looked, really struggling with her body image, behaviors like binge eating, and her body image issues were very much impacting her mental health. And so she was what I like to describe as being in the pit. She was in the pit, and she so desperately wanted change. And she got to that really powerful place, which so many women get to before they start working with me, which is they get so over their own bullshit. And it's in sitting in that pit and realizing I'm so fucking over myself. I want to change my life. That Tori reached out to me after watching me for 3 years. And she said, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. Let's go. And we jumped on a call, and I took Tori through my initial discovery of learning about her and where she was, what had happened to her, and most importantly, where her relationship with herself was. And when I did this call with Tori on the 9th of November, 2023, Tori rated herself a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 being in her relationship with herself. 10 being, I fucking love myself. I'm empowered. I back myself. I'm confident. I believe in myself. I have a great relationship with myself. And 1 being, I have a really toxic relationship with myself. And can I tell you, I've done hundreds of discovery calls with clients over the years, and being a 5 out of 10 is one of the most dangerous places that you can be in your relationship with yourself, because it's comfortable. It's not quite uncomfortable. Sometimes it's not uncomfortable enough to actually make change. But as I said, Tori was at that breaking point where she was so over her bullshit. Tori did something that day that scared her. And she invested money that she told herself she didn't have to invest in herself. And she invested time in herself that she told herself she didn't have. Tori was running a cycle of, I don't have the money for this and I don't have the time for this. But she decided to draw a line in the sand and step over that and find a way out of no way. When we did that together, we found a payment plan that worked for her as a full-time single mum. No job, only on really government support at that time, plus a side business that she was building. And on very little money, very little time, very little support, Tori found a way out of no way. We found a payment plan that was going to work for her so that she could do this for herself. And we made that plan and she committed. And then we spent the next 6 to 8 months doing the deep breakthrough work together. And in this episode, Tori's going to share with you her story and where she is now, 6 months post-breakthrough. She is an incredible woman who has overcome so much and is just like so anchored now post-breakthrough in confidence, the most incredible relationship with herself, self-belief. She's out there going after her life, making life happen. No longer is she a victim to her circumstances. No longer is she stuck in her victim mentality. No longer is she living her life as though life just happens to me. It's out of my control. She's an empowered woman who's taken control of her life, healed her wounds, completed a full breakthrough with me, and is now living, walking, talking proof of how powerful this work is. I hope you enjoy today's episode. Thank you. Welcome to the She Who Dares podcast. I'm your host, Crystal Wilson, the founder of She Who Dares. I'm a specialized breakthrough and mindset coach, business mentor, online course creator, and your number one no BS hype woman. I'm here to remind you who the fuck you are and reignite your personal power through powerful and expanding conversations on all things business, mindset, and energetics, to help you break through to your next level of success in all areas of your life, business, and bank account. Each episode is designed to expand your mind, shift your identity, raise your frequency, as well as give you success strategies to help you step into your highest, most powerful, abundant, successful, and magnetic you. So, I dare you to join me each episode, and I double dare you to implement what you learn and go all in on you. All in on your life, your business, your success. Because if you do, like so many of my She Who Dares clients and students, you will become everything that you know deep down you can be. Ready? Let's friggin' do this. Tori.
Hi.
Welcome to the She Who Dares podcast. We're so excited to have you.
I'm so
and I say care, me and all my personalities are so excited that you're here. No, it's such an honor to have you here. You're actually the first client that I'm interviewing with the relaunch of the She Who Dares podcast, and that feels so good.
Yes.
Last, I have interviewed clients and given them space to share their breakthrough experience. And your breakthrough journey with me is just so freaking incredible. I mean, we're constantly in each other's inboxes, just like celebrating you and cheering for you, and just like, it's been amazing.
It has.
Let me give our listeners a little bit of context. So Tori is a breakthrough client of mine, but she's about 6 months post breakthrough. We kind of did our breakthrough together all of 2024 towards the about 6 to 8 months in 2024. However, we have been in each other's worlds for the last, I would say, since 2020.
Yeah, definitely gravitating towards like in each other's universes.
Yeah. And so Tori actually took about 3 years before she decided to jump in and do breakthrough work. And in that 3 years, though, she did the free connection call, got the information, wasn't the right time, wasn't ready. Then she would dibble dabble in like my low kind of cost investment things. I think you did Be the Light. I think you did.
I reckon I did Heal Your Money as well, that type of
Heal
stuff.
Your Money,
It was free of yours. I was like, yes, I'm doing that. But then never really did it.
Yeah. So Tori's pattern was she would take the free calls. I did a free hypno, and then I had a low cost program like Heal Your Money or Be the Light, which is like donkey's years old. I don't even know that anymore. Tori would jump in, but she wasn't quite ready to do breakthrough, even though that was really the work that she needed to do. And this is a pattern that happens. It's not a negative thing. It's all perfect, where women enter my world and they will do all of the free things. They will sit on the sidelines and kind of gather the information. And then when the time is right, they'll jump in and do the deep work because they're sick of doing surface level bullshit that's not actually moving the needle.
100%.
So is that a fair synopsis
Yeah.
of your
100%. It totally is. And I think we've spoken about this before as well. Like, it just, I didn't value myself enough to book the breakthrough. I was just like, oh, I'll just do the free stuff. But then again, I just never did it because all those self-limiting beliefs and all of that were so deeply into me that I didn't even realize until I started breakthrough. So yeah.
You just made a really good point that I just want to touch on because I see this pattern play out. It played out for you and it plays out for many women.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to speak to it because I think women use it as a reason not to do the breakthrough, the big thing, the big investment, because they do kind of orbit in my world. They do the free things. They buy the low cost investment programs, courses, experiences. They don't show up in those experiences. They don't complete them. And then they actually collect that as evidence as to why they shouldn't invest the big money, the big time in the big breakthrough experience. Because if I couldn't show up in the $200 14-day thing, how am I going to show up for 12 weeks and invest thousands of dollars in this breakthrough? Can you speak to, because that's very much your journey.
Yeah.
And was that a block for you in investing the time and money in breakthrough? Can you just kind of like speak to that, how you overcame that?
Hugely. I think that was the thing, especially I'm a single mum of 3. I don't have like a solid income, you would say. I'm on benefits, so on Centrelink, whatever you want to call it. And I was always trapped in this money story that, you know, if I was to invest in myself in that way, because like Crystal had said, because I tried all these other little low ticket offers, I was just going to waste my money. I wasn't going to do it. But I think one of the things was I really had to weigh up what was more important to me was investing in myself financially and just making it work, because then the long-term gain that has now come out of that has been so much more. Like, I don't even miss that money. Even while I was going through breakthrough, I think it was amazing. Crystal and I, like, we were able to work together as well because, you know, life happens, shit happens sometimes, and money isn't always there. But I credit a lot of my being able to complete breakthrough to Crystal's flexibility on how we can make payment plans and all of that type of stuff as well. So I think just not overthinking the financial side of things was just a turning point even before I started breakthrough for me, just to be like, no, I'm sick of being like this, feeling like this. My kids seeing me like this. Doesn't matter what it costs because I'm more worth it. And that, again, was such a turning point in my breakthrough, which I followed through.
You know, and there's a big difference as well. Like someone like yourself who invested in the kind of low ticket, low commitment, like zero accountability experiences versus doing breakthrough. Having done those low ticket things and then doing breakthrough, what was the defining differences in your accountability in breakthrough that you believe was different?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was mainly I'd had enough. I'd had enough of my story. I'd had enough of the same seasons repeating itself. I'd had enough of the hurt. I'd had enough of the surface level shit. And I was like, if I'm actually going to be better and break generational curses and help my kids move forward through things, I've got to help myself first. I've got to take that power back. And sometimes as mothers, we look at it and we go, oh, no, like that's so selfish of us to think of us first. But I had to do that in order to be able to help my kids. And between the difference of the low ticket offers and breakthrough was just the support, 100%. The support of Crystal, having her there, breathing life into me and like calling me out on my shit most of the time, but in the most loving way. And I've always said this to you, Crystal, like the work that you do with women is so profoundly powerful. And it's one of those experiences that if you're not in it, it's really hard to describe sometimes and really hard to like wrap your head around. But that's why I literally recommend it to every woman that I know, because it's just so much better and it's nothing what I've ever experienced. I've experienced talk therapy and counseling and all of that type of stuff, but it's just nothing got into that deep, wounded little girl that really needed to just let go of a lot of shit.
You know, I actually recorded an episode yesterday and I spoke about this, is that I always wanted to be a counselor. I always was really interested in psychology, but I'm so glad that I didn't go down those routes in wanting to make the impact that I make, because I think my coaching style is incredibly unique and it has to be bound by protocol.
Yeah.
Sometimes in order for me to get the result for my client, I have to dance on an edge of like calling somebody out and having tough conversations.
Yeah.
I feel that with like counseling and psychology, like I'm pro all of that work.
Yeah.
So different. The level of conversation that we have, the level of like, you cannot lie to me, there's nowhere to hide, and I will hold you 24/7 to the standard at which you told me of the things you wanted. Whereas doing that more, you know, professional counseling psychology route, I would not be able to have that level of impact in the lives of women. And so, yeah, I just was speaking about it yesterday, another episode.
Yeah.
So true, because often, you know, clients will say, oh, Crystal really called me out, and it's loving you calling you out and for it. So just to give people some context, the very first point of contact and first step in our breakthrough journey is you actually jump on and do a call. And at the moment I'm running this opportunity for women who are interested. It's $111 one-off call, and me and Tori did that version of that call. We've done it a couple of times, actually. She did a free version of that call 3 years ago, got the information, wasn't ready. And then 3 years, she was kind of like, you know, she was warming up, doing all the things. The most common thing people say to me, someone said it to me yesterday in my inbox. They reached out to me literally this week, another woman. I don't know why I'm messaging you. Here's all the blur of what's going on in my life. And then I said, cool, let's jump on a call. I know why you're messaging me, because you've been watching me for 4 years. This is not been orbiting, and you know I can help you. You've been watching me. You watch what I do. Gave her the link for the call, and she goes, you know what? I actually think I can do it on my own, basically. And I was like, I'll see you soon, babe. She's like,
see you later.
Nothing but love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until you're my client, I don't call you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to share. So we did our first initial call, okay? And I've got something that you said to me. It's such a testament to what you've just said, Tori, because it's the same fucking shit.
Yeah.
You said, I wrote word for word, this is what Tori said to me on our first call. I have done so much surface level shit, really self-aware, but I don't know how to move past all of my stuff. I've been trying to do it on my own, and now I'm ready to really do the work.
Oh, I just want to wrap her up like.
God bless this version of Tori who is like so over my fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's very true. Like, you have to get to this point where you are like, I'm so over myself.
Yeah.
And where everyone lands in that is their journey. Like, it took you 3 years and you're like, go. And when the thing is like that journey of 3 years, I actually posted a post and I spoke about anger in that post. And it was something that, I have so much anger and I don't know how to process it. And we're going to get why you've had so much anger. But I did one post on Instagram speaking about the rage, like that rage that just spews out of you. And you're like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, your own rage scares you.
Yes.
You messaged me. You're like, send me the link. I'm ready. And I was like, wow, Tori's been fucking percolating for 3 years. And now she's like, let's go.
Now she's angry and she's ready.
Just to give the listener some context, because I think your story is really unique. As you mentioned, you're a single mum. How many children?
3.
3 children. And when you did reach out to me, there was a lot of anger. There was a lot of like, I've got so much rage and anger and I don't know how to process it. And the people who are actually receiving that rage and anger are my kids. Can you share a little bit of context actually about like what you had experienced and where you were before you started Breakthrough?
Yeah. So before I had started Breakthrough, like Crystal said, my main primary was just anger. Just complete, utter rage And that did stem from a lot of how my relationship ended. So I was actually in a long-term relationship and was married and all of these things. And then that fell apart. And I just literally shoved it down as far as I could and just got on with life because that is what I needed to do. And it eventually took, it would have been 2 years after my separation. I think that's when I talked to Crystal, that I just had enough of it. I'd had enough of feeling anger towards somebody that wasn't in my life anymore and not knowing how to deal with that and not knowing how to process that, but had enough of feeling angry at myself as well, because I did put a lot of the blame on myself, even though a lot of shit things had happened in the downfall of my marriage and relationship. But I was just spewing it onto my kids all the time. And I think I also felt a lot of guilt for that. And I didn't know how to reach out to somebody and just be like, look, I'm not the mum I want to be right now. How do I do this? How do I fix this? And I was actually really scared as well to let somebody in and just be like, I'm not treating myself, my kids the way I want to. Help me. Literally, it was a cry for help hugely. So, yeah.
You spoke about so many great things then around how you were angry at your partner,
Yeah.
break your relationship, but you were also very much blaming yourself
Yeah.
for parts.
Yeah.
It's fun. I work with a lot of women who have had breakdown in relationships, and it's so hard. You've got 3 young kids. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just complicated. But you said you blamed yourself, and I often speak about the difference between blame and responsibility. Blame is victimhood. It's a very heavy, very dense energy, and nothing good happens from blaming yourself. And a lot of women who like have breakdowns of relationships, they do blame themselves. They've been gaslit, they've had emotional abuse. So they do think that they played, this is their fault, you know what I mean? For not being good enough, for not being sexy, for not whatever it is that we tell ourselves. Where that real shift, and this happened in my own toxic relationship that I left in like 2010.
Yeah.
Like the real empowering piece is when you take responsibility for how much you betrayed yourself as a woman by accepting less than what you deserved and wanted.
And I think that was a big thing as well. I remember on our first call, you asked me just out of the blue, and it shocked me to my core. You were like, well, why did you let yourself do that? Why didn't you move? And I was like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I'm the victim here, Crystal. Like, it was such a huge, profound moment, but it actually scared the shit out of me because I was like, how dare you try and call me, like, I'm the victim. And I feel like a lot of the first few times we met through Breakthrough, I still had such a victim mentality, and it took not so long, but it took a few sessions to actually rewire that and get out of that victim mentality.
Yeah. You know, when I say that, and I've had that exact conversation with so many women who are like, they've left the relationship, and most of the time they haven't left the relationship. They've been in a shitty relationship and the man has left them.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge red flag around your self-trust, your intuition, your self-betrayal, like all of the things, right?
Yeah.
And even my own relationship, it was the same thing. I was in an emotional, abusive relationship, and he's the one who ended it with me.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to stay. And I thought for many years I was angry at him and I was the victim. Oh my God, I was the award-winning victim. Someone give me a fucking...
I wore that badge with pride, but I didn't even know I was wearing it with pride.
And when the dust really settled for me, and this is similar to you, and it was time for me to really fucking heal, because you're not healing when you're stuck in your victimhood.
No.
Creating the story that you're a victim.
No.
What I realized, I was like, oh, he's not the problem. I mean, he is in his own right a problem. But what the real problem was that my own self-worth was so low that I accepted that level of relationship.
Yeah.
That's And when I had to face that, it was like, oh, I need to take responsibility for the role that I played, and also that this is a true sign that my relationship with myself is fucking broken.
Yeah.
That I'm accepting this.
Yeah.
And so you had I called you out lovingly because I'd been there.
Yeah.
And breakthrough, right? Just in that.
Yeah. It's just wild. Like, even just like remembering how I felt in that conversation and looking back on everything, just knowing, like you said, the part that I played as well, I think was a really big turning point, because it was so easy just to go, oh, all the shit things, all the shit. And don't get me wrong, shit things happened. Yes, they did. But also, I also allowed that to happen to some extent. And there were so many times my intuition niggled and was like, babe, come on. Like, you are better than this. You need to move. You need to leave. You need to do these things. But I just never did. I honestly never did. And I now look at relationships in such a different way. My standard is so ridiculously high. It's probably too high sometimes. But also, I know my worth now. I know what I bring to the table, and I didn't know that when I started Breakthrough. I thought everything was wrong with me. I thought no one was ever going to love me again, or I was never going to be able to hold down a relationship, or all of this type of stuff, because of just the way I felt about myself. But I don't feel like that anymore.
Yeah, no, she's thriving. One of the things that I really remember about you as well, Tori, in the beginning of our breakthrough, is such a resistance for communicating your needs. So your relationship broke down and you were very much like single mumming. Like, what percentage of the time would you say you're single mumming?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like no support. Do you know what I mean? Like very little sporadical, no consistency and support.
Yeah.
Mumming, and there were people around you. You've got a beautiful family.
Oh, yes.
People around you who wanted to help you, but there was such a block in you asking help. I remember like we had to like literally sit down, remember this, and plan out like what you were going to do in the school holidays, and asking different family members for support. 3 young kids or a single mum, and you were very much in used to call it like parental burnout. Do you know what I mean? Mum burnout.
Yeah.
I want to speak to this because I think it's so powerful. There was a big part of you as well. So not only couldn't you not ask for help, and you were in parental burnout, single mumming 3 kids, there was also such a level of resentment that this was now your life.
Yeah.
That this was the card I had been dealt.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that?
It's so funny that you say it was so hard for me to resist help, because now any chance I'm like, yeah, you can have them. You can do whatever you need to do. But yeah, I remember that phone call of literally us sitting down, and you were literally like, this is what you're going to say. This is how we're going to do it. You held my hand through that whole process 100%.
I'm writing text messages for Tori to people in her family, like helping her word it so that she could take the emotion out of it.
It was so emotion-based, and I'm such an emotion-led human. But if someone told me no, oh man, that meant something was wrong. That meant they didn't want to help me. That meant they never want to help me again. Like, it was just always constantly blown so far out of proportion. Even though I do remember saying to Crystal, I don't care about it. I'm not fussed. I know people have their own lives. I know people have their own things to deal with. But the resentment towards motherhood, that's a big emotion to, like, when I look back at that time, I didn't want to be a mum. I didn't even want to be here. I remember one day my kids weren't with me, and I remember like sitting down the ocean, and this was also such a pivotal time in my journey. And I was like, wow, it looks really quiet out there. Like, I don't have to worry about kids. I don't have to worry about lunch boxes or my ex or anyone else. I could just go out there and it'll be fine. And that scared me enough to be like, I need like help. I can't do this anymore. I quickly turned it into, no, but I need my kids. They need me. I want to be here for them. And Any move that I made in parenthood, I just hated. I absolutely hated. And I was just running on empty. I was barely coping, barely getting by, but I was doing it with a smile on my face. And I think that's so important as us mothers is there's this saying like, oh, mum still pour from an empty cup. Like we just still do it, but like we don't have to. And that's such a big learning as well. Like we don't actually have to pour from an empty cup because even though we are mothers and yes, we have kids and sometimes they do need to come first, we're still humans as well. And this is still our first time living and we're still so important because if we don't take care of ourselves, I know so many mums can agree with me on this, that then it trickles down, it ripples out into our kids and we see it all the time. So I think just facing that resistance head on, that I was just like, this is not the parent I want to be. This is not the mum I want to be. And again, I just need to do something about it. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. You know, I've got this unique opportunity where I've had these deep and meaningful conversations with like hundreds of women. And the reason that I wanted you to speak to that is that it's so common. And I feel like I get to hold space for so many women who are feeling that, but women aren't getting together and having that conversation together. So all the women who are feeling that fucking rage and like, I don't want to be a fucking mum today.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this alone. And you're feeling all of that because women aren't coming together, having that conversation. Everyone's holding such shame, thinking that we're horrible and broken and they're a horrible mum because they hate their fucking kids today. And I don't have children yet, but I've had this conversation of like, hey, like if I could get you all together and you could just be like, I fucking hate being a mum today. It's okay. Like,
I just can't do it today. Like you said, I think it's so completely normal because once you start having these conversations with your friends or your family or your mum, like the conversations I have now with people that surround me and my family, they are on such a depth. But like you said, there's no shame anymore. There's no disappointment. There's no scarcity. Everything's just received with open arms because we just started having these hard conversations. And again, they're so important to have because you never know who's struggling. Like I didn't tell many people about that time when I looked out to the ocean. I just told all of you guys because I love you.
She Who Dares community's got you.
Exactly. I know that. But with the people that I do share that with, you would be surprised. Like you said, the amount of women that also go, do you know what? I felt like that too. And I feel like I'm failing and I feel like I can't do this and this isn't what I expected. And I remember in one of our sessions that I had always wanted to be a mum. I'm a Cancer. I've always had that mothering, nurturing soul. I was always the mum of the group when I was growing up. And then when I got into motherhood, I was like, this isn't what I fucking expected. What do you mean? Everyone's told me since growing up that I'm going to be a great mum and I'm going to do great things and all of this. And now I'm here as a single mum of 3, which I already feel like I've failed my kids because this isn't the plan. And now I can just do the bare minimum for them. Like I'm failing them. They deserve better. They don't deserve me as a mum. All of these thoughts and feelings run through me and it become like I was like this ball of darkness covered in like green. Do you know what I mean? Like I was so good at holding it together that nobody knew what was actually going on underneath.
You know, I think the women who listen to this episode, Tori, who come from your world, your followers, are going to be shocked, I think, because you show up and even all through this time, you know, if we go back 2 years, 1 year, 3 years, 4 years, I feel like all through this time you really do show up.
Yeah.
It's such a high vibe energy, but you're not fake.
No,
you're so vulnerable, so authentic.
Yeah.
And you do let people peek behind the curtain of like parental overwhelm and being a mum. You speak to all of these things all the time in a beautiful way on your social media. but you have a really good way of also holding both, the duality of both. Like, I'm fucking exhausted and I'm burnt out and I hate this today, but I'm also, going to focus on being positive and showing up in a beautiful way. So I think that women in your community who listen to this would be like, wow. And I'm the same. Like, so many of my clients that, when we were working together, how many times did I share things that were happening? And you're like, what? Like, so many of my clients will message me after I do like a personal post. And I'm like, we just did a session yesterday and you were doing what? It's because, we can hold a lot. And I held a lot through my experiences and doing the work I do. But you, like, going from, having a family unit to then being a single mum with 3 kids, navigating the depths of that, not really having the support.
Yeah.
Like, you've had to grow up real quick. Do you know what I mean? And figure things out real quick.
Yeah. And I think that was a big thing as well. Like, I was so reliant on other people as well. Like, in a sense of codependency, I would say. And then as soon as it was just me, it was like you said, shit, I've got to grow up now. I'm actually got to do all of these things. I've got to find work and I've got to do a job, but I've got to pack lunches and I've got to be a therapist for my kids and I've got to hold space for them and I've got to hold space for me. Like, yes, that's motherhood, but also when you're a single parent, there's literally no one coming to save you at the end of the day. And the only person that saved me was myself. And yes, that's exhausting. I don't always want to hear that every single time. I'm like, I don't care. I just want someone to come and do bedtime, please, because I don't want to. But literally, like, no one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. That's probably the biggest thing. And what I was going to say before actually is like the coexist of things. How you said that you can carry both. That was also a big moment in my breakthrough for me, was that I could still have shit days and feel shit and think shit things, but it's just how I come out of that and not sitting in that for days on end and letting it manifest into something that was bigger than what it actually is. The amount of times I've been faced with tricky situations, conversations, whatever in the last 12 months has been huge. Like, there's been so many things that have gone on, but the way I've been able to process and move through, sometimes yes, with guidance and help and all of that type of stuff, but has been so different to how it would have been 12 months ago. I would have let it fester and sit and just get gross and all of this type of stuff. But just learning that things can, definitely coexist at the same time has been life-changing.
I remember that session where I said that to you. I was like, 2 things can coexist at the same time. Like, you can, like, hate being a mother today, like, in the moment, but also be an amazing mum. You can be having amazing breakthrough work and going on this healing journey with me and still have bad days. Like, things can coexist at the same time.
Yeah.
I just speak to something you said about, like, internally, external, and I want to speak on this because I feel like before breakthrough for you, for so many other women, they are unconsciously focused on changing their external world.
Yeah.
And when we do breakthrough work together, like what we did, we actually went deep. And the thing is, people unconsciously avoid the inner work. Just change my external world.
Yeah.
And last, you end up in a loop, a perpetuating cycle where it's like you make progress and then you self-sabotage. You make progress, you self-sabotage. So when we do breakthrough work, and this is very true to you, Tori, we really go deep and do the internal healing work. We're healing your beliefs. We're healing your old pain, your old trauma, all the things that have happened to you that have shaped how you're thinking, how you're perceiving the world, how you're showing up for yourself. And at the crux of it, it's deep identity work and really healing your relationship with yourself. So I want to know from you, because you've done breakthrough and you did a lot of deep internal work with me. What are the external results that you are experiencing now, 6 months post breakthrough? So let's speak to the external results that you have.
Okay.
Also internally, like, where are you now, 6 months post breakthrough?
Oh, well, I'm here. No. But 6 months post, it's been such a wild journey, and it's not what I expected at the start of my breakthrough. So at the start of my breakthrough, I literally was like, my life is just going to be fixed and everything's going to be fine. And I'm going to walk around and I'm going to be so positive and I'm just going to love everything about life. But it's not like that all the time. But in the retrospect of things, like I was saying before, I have been able to really embody who I am as a person. And if you were one of my followers, you would have seen, that along the way as well. But just being able to be the person that I want to be, the mum I want to be the friend, daughter, all of that combined into one, and just really hold myself accountable. I've got so much more discipline. I literally said the other day, I'm so much physically and mentally stronger than I have ever been. And I credit all of that to breakthrough. It rippled out this beautiful ripple into my whole entire life that even my kids take on board so much more beautiful stuff. Like, you do learnings when you do your breakthrough with Crystal, and I have recorded mine and we listen to them every now and then, and we'll listen to them in the car. I've got alarms set and my alarm goes off and my middle son goes, Mum, it's time to do your learnings. And they repeat them as well. So it's just been such a beautiful change to be able to experience, again, no one's coming to save you need to save yourself. And just embodying that has been so nice. It's just been so good.
How would you describe, just in a few words, your relationship with yourself now and who you are as a woman now, post breakthrough?
Oh, I am so much more confident in my whole entire body. Isn't it so funny sometimes?
Yeah, how much you love yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, just main character energy all the time.
Main character energy all the time. I see that. I feel like you always were really good at faking confidence. Do you know what I mean? And now I feel like you're very much grounded in who you are. You're so confident. I mean, if we just look at your social media, I think when we first started working together, you had 1,000 followers, maybe 1,700 followers. Yeah. Since finishing breakthrough, Tori's showing up as her most authentic self. Her following has grown hugely.
Yeah.
That time, you are making moves, you're leading yourself, you're confident, you're out there, no longer thinking my life is happening to me. You're out there fucking creating your life.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's an energetic thing, because if you were watching you 18 months ago, you were showing up still, the energy is different. Who you are being is different. So it's that deep identity work.
And I think one of the other main things is that I feel now is that I can hold so much more space for women as well in the me 12 months ago. And I want to empower women. I want women either to do this work with you or look at me and go, oh my God, if she can do it, why the fuck can I not? Because we all deserve so much greatness, honestly. And I know, hand on my heart, that I inspire women, and there is nothing greater than standing in my own power and being able to inspire others as well. So I love it.
And I see that. I see you grounded in who you are, grounded in confidence, and really it's in your power.
Yeah.
Your habits, your mindset, your behaviors, how you show up for yourself, your consistency.
Yeah.
In all the ways. It's just been such a beautiful journey. I absolutely loved working with you. And a lot of women come to me and they're stuck, they're in their pit, they're in their victimhood. But there's a big difference between working with somebody who is in their victim mentality and stuck in their victim mentality. And, even though, yes, you were in a perpetuating cycle of victimhood, you were so ready. You were When I challenged you, you were like, let's go. You were like so ready to make the moves to be the woman that you wanted to be the mother you wanted to be, to show up in the world that you wanted to be. And so this journey breakthrough is not easy, but oh my God, it's fucking worth it. It changed my life. It's changed your life.
Yeah.
I've worked with hundreds of women, and I still receive messages from women who did breakthrough with me 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so amazing. And you're really in your infancy post breakthrough.
Yeah, literally.
It's like it's not even all integrated yet. There's so much that you're going to be, do, have, and create. And I'm just so grateful that I get a front row seat and I get to celebrate you along the way.
It's so good. Thank you. Same. I loved working with you. I've always said it to you. The work that you do is absolutely powerful. And I know, like, this is what women need. This is what women need to move forward and really live their most authentic, powerful life. And guys, just do it. Just do it, please. It's not easy. And going through breakthrough was hard. Like, it was profound and amazing, and all of these great things happened, and it gave me a deeper sense of myself. But doing that work was confronting. I remember one of our sessions, I reckon it was anger, like the session. And it was so hard to move through that session. We got there in the end, but it's just what you gain so much. And like you said, Crystal, I'm still in the infancy of it. And when you share people 5, 3, like, you know, post however many years breakthrough, and I'm like, oh my God, it's only going to get better. It's going to constantly always get better because I have all of these tools, and I've released all of these limiting beliefs, and I've done everything that I possibly can. And now when I move, the universe is going to follow. So yeah.
Which leads me, so the She Who Dares mantra is, I lead, the universe follows. When I move, the universe moves with me. And Tori, inspired by that mantra that we say here, Tori got a tattoo just last week. What's your tattoo say, Tori?
That says, I move, universe follows.
Which is inspired by the She Who Dares mantra. And what does that mean to you?
It literally just means that in order to create, make, embody the life that I want, I need to move. I know the universe always has my back, regardless of what I do, but I have to be the one that makes that move first. So the universe can literally embody me and carry me there as well. Because if I'm not moving, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Literally nothing's going to happen. And I think that's another such a great thing is, again, my life has changed so much since breakthrough, and being able to just do the things that I want to do and not feel any guilt about that either has been so amazing.
Thank you so much. I just want to leave you guys like with that quote, I lead, the universe follows. When I move, the universe moves with me. Or Tori's version, I move, the universe follows. And for those of you listening, it's like your first move is booking a fucking call with me.
Yeah.
And you are stalling. You are cock blocking yourself. You are getting in your own fucking way. You're literally at night asking the universe, God, for a sign. Show me how to get out of this. Show me how to get out of my way. I'm sick of struggling. I'm sick of feeling like this. Show me. And then this podcast lands, or my post lands on your feed, and you have the intuitive nudge to book a call, and then you let your fear and your inner mean girl stop you. And that's what this quote means. I lead, the universe follows. You have to get the fuck out of your own way. Borrow my belief, borrow Tori's belief, borrow our stories of being on the other side of this work. Get out of your own way. Go to the show notes. Those of you who know, right? You're listening to this episode and the cells in your body are going, this is the thing I need to do. This is the thing I need to do. But your fear is talking you out of it. Head to the show notes, click the link, book the limited edition $111 call. Let's just take step fucking 1. It took Tori 3 years. There's no pressure. There's never any pressure. Your journey is your journey, but just at least be willing to take the first fucking step. At least be willing to get the information so you can make an informed decision. You're sitting there asking the universe to help you, and the universe is giving you all the signs, and you're not moving. It's I lead, the universe follows. When I move, the universe moves with me. So you're going to have to take that first step.
Yeah.
Just like Tori did, just like I did, just like all the women who have been through a She Who Dares breakthrough have and changed their fucking lives. Tori, I love you. This is just the beginning of your journey. And I am your biggest cheerleader, which I think is evident. I'm always in her inbox. Like, you're in your infancy post-breakthrough, and I will be watching you and celebrating you because I know what your goals are. I know what you want to create. I know all the things you want, and I cannot wait to watch you hit each of those milestones over these next few years.
Thank you.
Amazing, my love. Thank you for coming on the podcast and being my first official client interview.
Yay. No, thank you for having me. I love this. This is great. I can just
Thanks so much for listening, guys. Head to the show notes or book in your call. Let's fucking do this. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. If you loved this episode, be sure to share that with me by leaving me a review, and head over to the She Who Dares official Instagram account at She Who Dares Official, hit follow, slide into my DMs, and share with me the impact this episode has had on you. And before you go, I'm going to leave you with this. The universe is responding to you. It is following your lead. You are the one who has to move first. And when you do, the whole universe will move with you, because it's I lead, the universe follows. When I move, the universe moves with me. That is our official She Who Dares mantra. I want you to write it down, put it on a mirror, and I want you to remind yourself of it every day. When I lead, the universe follows. When I move, the universe moves with me. When you follow this She Who Dares mantra, you are going to unlock the magic of the universe, and you are stepping into your most powerful self. I can't wait to see you for the next episode. Thanks for being here.